Hello, and welcome to another video from Ritual Woodcraft. Today, we're going to look at the Festool DF700 XL. It's for making mortise joints for floating mortise and tenon joints, and it's the only tool like it. It's a wonderful tool. It's built well, it's crafted well, it's easy to use, and it makes wonderful floating mortise and tenon joints very easily. To hold it in your hand, to look at it, you can see the excellence in the design and the craftsmanship. But it costs so much. And all the Festool handheld power tools are designed to work with dust extraction. And Festool is very good at it. And when you use their dust extractors, it's a very clean working environment. But their extractors, their vacuums, can also cost an arm and a leg. Look at these prices. If you have a problem shelling out the money it takes to buy a tool, imagine then having to spend $300 more on dominoes and then $1,000 more on the dust extraction that is virtually required to use the tool properly. Now you can use the domino from Festool without dust extraction, and I'm going to cut one here right now. If you've ever used a biscuit cutter, these power tools work essentially the same way. Rather than a horizontally rotating saw blade, these have a drill bit that bores into the workpiece while moving or oscillating side to side. And it creates a very exact and precise mortise so that your pieces will line up properly. But of course something like this is going to make a significant amount of sawdust. And you can actually plug up your mortise while you're trying to drill it if you don't have a vacuum or dust extraction connected to the piece. And that's extra wear and tear on an already expensive blade. But $1,000 for a vacuum? Here's another solution. Bucket head. This is something I found at Home Depot. And you turn a 5-gallon bucket into a wet and dry vac with this attachment that goes right on the top of any 5-gallon plastic bucket. And look, it costs less than $30. The bucket head vac was what, $26.47, and the bucket was a little over $3. So you got $30 invested in a bucket and the bucket head. But will it work? Will it be an efficient partner for your very efficient and well-designed Festool handheld power tool? I build a lot of doors, and I need strong mortise and tenon joints, and they take a lot of time, and time is money. I purchased the larger Festool Domino mortise cutter because I need the large dominoes to give the structural support to the rails and stiles of the doors I make and for the stretchers and aprons of the furniture that I make. Let's see if this $30 solution does the trick. In the box, there's a vacuum. It's just the head, it's just the motor, it's just an intake port and an exhaust port. There's a filter and a very short hose and a power cord. And you simply place it on top of the bucket. You want to align the snaps, the closures, with the handle seats because the handle will fold up over the top of it. And I'm going to pass the cord inside the handle so it'll be out of the way. And then the handle just pulls up towards the center of the top and snaps into place. This is the intake, and that's the exhaust on the other side. The switch is on the intake side. And it's 1.25 inches in diameter. Hey, that's pretty close to what the port is on the Domino. Maybe it'll work. On the nozzle to this vacuum hose, it was cut on a bevel on about a 60-degree angle. And I just cut it off flat. You can see a little left of the bevel right there in the front. I cut it flat so that bevel wouldn't be in the way when I tried to connect it to my Domino XL. And you can see this vacuum has sufficient suction. It'll hold this manual even if I shake it. And it's so easy to use. I mean, an on and off switch, an intake, and an exhaust port. And if you put the hose on the exhaust port, you have a little portable blower. And it works well. You can blow the dust off your workbench. You can clean the dust from something that you've been sanding. This will be a handy little vacuum either way. And I'm going to start by cleaning up some of the sawdust from that mortise I cut using no dust extraction. Okay, here's the port on the Domino XL. Now the test. Will the hose fit on? Will I have to tape it? Will it leak? Will it be a pain in the neck continually falling off? No, it fits perfectly, snug and secure, and vacuum tight. So, let's cut some dominoes or some mortises and see where all the sawdust goes. Turn on the vac and plunge the cutter head into the workpiece. I'm seeing virtually no sawdust outside of the work. It seems as though the vac is getting 95% of it. Let's cut a couple more and see how it works. Only at the very beginning, when the cutter head hasn't even penetrated the wood yet, when it just starts cutting on the outside edge, do you see any flakes of sawdust. After that, everything seems to be vacuumed right up the suction hose. Now with the Festool $1,000 vac, you don't have to turn it on and off. You plug your power tool right into the vac, and then when you turn the power tool on, the vac goes on. But we have to do this with our own hand. But for $1,000 savings, hey. Now if I look at these mortises, there is some sawdust left inside, but very little. That's all the sawdust from 3 mortises that we've just cut. And they're smooth, they're clean, and they're precise, as the Festool always makes them. So there it is. My conclusion on the Festool Domino DF700XL is that it is an excellent tool. And like any well-crafted tool, once you use it, you find that that quality of workmanship that allows you to up your game with regard to your own quality of workmanship is addictive. Now, it wasn't easy for me to drop the money to buy this tool. It was $1,500, and that almost seemed insulting because there's some very good table saws for less than that. But no one else makes a tool like this. Right now, Festool owns the patent. And for the next couple of years at least, Festool will be the only one making this tool. Now, it almost seemed like insult to injury was after you talk yourself into paying $1,500 for a handheld tool, you're looking at $330 some odd to buy a set of hardwood dominoes that fit the mortise that this tool makes. You can make your own, but at about $1 a piece, it's going to save you money. So you buy that. And then you realize these tools, with their very excellent dust removal system, these tools are designed and manufactured to be run with a vac, an evacuator, something to take away the dust and debris. Problem with this tool is, without using it, it still works, but you can actually clog the mortise you're trying to make, and it's more wear and tear on the machine as well as the cutter, and it's all expensive. So I look at the vac, and we're talking another $600, maybe even a lot more if you get the arm that holds the hose out of your way. And then I remember walking by this little device in the Home Depot, and I was thinking that was under $30, wasn't it? So I went by and looked, and sure enough, it was $29 or whatever. And I thought, could it work? Is it possible? Will it fit? Will I have to tape it on? Will it be awkward? I would say the length of this hose is woefully inadequate for mostly anything you do. But you know, you don't run around with this tool. You clamp your workpiece in place and you work on a mortise, maybe the one beside it, maybe the one on the other side. You might even do a length of mortises. But relatively, you're going to be in the same area when you finish as where you started. So, at least for the time being, this is going to work. And it saves me literally over $600. So, I think it's a good substitute, a very good substitute. I guess a piece of advice I can give you regarding Festool is don't buy or use any Festool product because they work so well that once you do, you might become a Festool addict. Damn the cost. Thank you for watching, and please consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing.